Good morning. I know that this is going around to all over the world. My name is Jorge Ochoa. I would like to thank Autism Connect for having me this morning, where I'm at over here in San Antonio, Texas. So today we will be talking about functional drumming, the impact of how drumming can help those um, that fall within the autism spectrum. So, a little about me is again, my name is Jorge Ochoa. I'm an occupational therapist, a school based occupational therapist, and a group drumming facilitator here in San Antonio, Texas. And I've been doing um, the drumming, group drumming for those. I started out with those really in special ed, those that have special needs, back in around 2006, 2007. The history behind that is that one day I was searching on the web for drums, not particularly anything regarding group drumming, because I didn't really even know about it at the time. So I started to look up drums on the web, and then I came across the whole idea of group drumming, hand drumming, because in the past I had been a drum set player, but I never knew this whole idea about getting people together and just sitting and playing drums. So I found that the whole group drumming, drum circle idea was very interesting because you could get people who may or may not have any background in music. They can come together and they basically just sit down, play in rhythm, relax, de-stress, enjoy themselves, have fun. So at the time, I went to my director where I worked, and I had asked her if she would consider buying me um, drums. So and she did. So what I would do is I would go around to the special ed rooms, the classrooms weekly for a while, and I would just drum with the students there. And that's basically how this whole thing just took off. In the beginning, what I had used was a program called the Rhythmic Arts Project. You can look that up online. It's called the Rhythmic Arts Project. And the thing about the drumming is that in order to implement the drumming or to even be involved in it, again, you do not have to be a drummer. You just have to have a basic sense of rhythm if this is something that you want to try at home or at school with your clients. As long as you have a basic sense of rhythm, you can lead a group. And again, it's not about um, being in a drum lesson class, and it's not performance based. It's about just allowing a time of self expression through drums and percussion. So today, one of the things I would like to do is also towards the end. Hopefully, my plan is for those of you who are out there, for you to also join me in a, a session, a short clip, so to speak, on some of the things that I may do with those in my groups. Um, so, um, as an OT, one of the things that um, one of the focus that we have is meaningful activities. Activities that are engaging, that are meaningful to the client. So within the realm of OT, we take a look at certain, you could say, uh, the some performance based, um, the the areas that mean the most to the client, such as, and in the context of group drumming, it would be to look at play, to look at social participation, to look at health management and maintenance. Also, group drumming can also assist with rest and sleep, and we can talk about that some more, as well as supporting a student in school and learning different concepts by the use of rhythm. One of the things that I see when you play the drum, whether it be alone or in a group, it's a very sensory rich based experience. It involves a tactile system, okay, hands, touch, the vestibular system. So when we play, we can move back and forth. We shift in our chair. We move to the rhythm, and the vestibular system is involved, and that also helps to regulate it, where it can be a calming experience while you're playing. We can take a look at proprioception, knowing where our body parts are in space, because as we drum, as we hit the drum, okay, there is force resistance that is being applied to the drum, so that increases joint the awareness of our joints and so forth, which goes back to the idea of proprioception. Of course, there's the visual that's also involved. As we're playing, we look at the drum, we're looking at our hands, as well as we're looking at others as they're playing. Okay, and of course, there's also the hearing aspect of it, the input that is being received through it. So it is truly a multi-sensory experience so someone can be engaged in. Let me take a look at some of the notes that I have. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So it can also help with when it comes to strengthening your hands, your fingers as you play, endurance. We can look at how the hand and the eyes work separately and also at the same time with the drum. So you could go back and forth or at the same time. Okay. Also, if you can also play the drum with a mallet of some type, like a soft one, and that also can help with being able to grasp items and help to develop that skill as well. One of the things that I really enjoy with the drumming, especially with those within the autism spectrum, is how it can really address social emotional skill development. I see how that can really have a positive impact with that. Some of the things that are addressed when you're playing within a group will include impulse, self-control, okay, and some of these concepts we will go through as we play on our drum. Now, if you're at home, you don't have to have a drum. If you have a book, if you have a container, you have a box, or a tabletop, or even your knees or your legs, you can play drums on that as well. So again, you don't have to have a drum to be able to take part or to play, but you use what you have at home, either household or homemade item. So yes, it involves social, emotional skill development, impulse, self-control, being able to focus, attention span, to listen, to follow directions. Of course, there is the aspect of social involvement because others are involved. Being able to work together as a team, group cooperation, and taking turns, and which is a big thing to. It is a very important skill where you have to wait. You have to take your turn, allow somebody else to do something, and then you patiently wait. And then when it's your turn, then you get to play. And I'll show you that in a bit as well. Also, nonverbal and verbal communication can be used. You can someone can learn how to play their name, the rhythm of the name on the drum. One of the things that I do at times is that they would play the syllables of their first name. Like I may ask, okay, like with me, George. Okay, so George, go ahead and play your first name, and then so I would just play, George, and then we can talk about, okay, so how many beats was that? One beat. Awesome. Then I take turns, and then like if someone has a name like Sandra, okay, will you go ahead and say and play your name, Sandra, and then that student may play, Sandra, and then after that, then I usually have the group play the name back to us. So Sandra would say her name, Sandra, and then I would say, okay, 1, 2, everybody play, and then the whole group plays back the name Sandra. So again, it could be a good way for both the verbal and nonverbal communication. Also, for self-expression and being able to use the drum and rhythm as a tool to regulate oneself. One strategy would be to playing soft and slow. That can be calming and relaxing. But then playing loud and fast, that can be more uplifting and helps to alert or wake up the child or client. So slow and soft can be more calming, and then fast and loud could be more on the upbeat side, more like to wake them up. And of course, everyone is different, every client is different. So what might work for one may not always work for the other. So a lot of skills is just by trial. You trial it, you see if it works. If it is, awesome. If not, then you change it to something else and see what how it affects and how it can help that particular client or your student or your child. So what I would like to do is start us. So if you have something at home you can play on, if a box, a bucket, the top of a desk or whatever, I do invite you to go ahead and get your item, and I'm going to go through a session with you on more or less how this can be used to work on those social skills, those group skills, and how we see, even though the client or the child is involved in the context of play, because play is extremely important, they are having the chance to learn about functional skills, and how they can be involved in those skills. And again, we see the difference. They may not, but that's okay, because as long as they play and have a good time, we can see the benefit, and I'll talk more about that in a bit as well. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll start playing. Okay, on my drum. Now, when I say go, when I say the word go, then you come on in when I say go, and then we'll see where this takes us, where this journey takes us. So, okay, so I'll start. So I'll usually say, okay, quiet hands, please. Quiet hands, please. When I say go, everybody plays. Everybody plays when I say go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Everybody go. And you do not have to play what I play. Just play along with me. Play your own rhythm. Use your own feeling in the groove. Very good. So be as creative as you want to on whatever you're playing. And don't overthink it. Just allow yourself, invite yourself to just play along comfortably with what's comfortable for you. 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, back to the groove. Go back to the groove. Everybody move. Everybody play, 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 play. Come on now, come on, jump, jump, jump. Come on now and have some fun. Come on, jam. Everybody jam. Come on now and use your hands. Play, play. Everybody play. Come on now, come on. Play, play, play. Everybody jam, jam, jam. Come on now, come on. Use your hands. Jump, 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 jump. Come on now, come on. Have some fun. Play, 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 play. Come on now, come on. Everybody play. Play, 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 play. Everybody have fun today. Jam, jam on the drum. Jam, jam. Come on now, come on, use your hands. On the drum, come on, play, 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 play. On the drum, come on, play, 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 play. 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, back to the groove, go. Back to the groove. If you have shakers, play right now. Shake, 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 shake. So that's one of the things that I also do during the group. Is I will give half the group drum and half the group shakers, and then halfway during the session, then I will switch. Shake, 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 shake. 1, 2. 1, 2, now only drums. Drum, 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 drum. Drum, 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 drum. Drum, 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 drum. to the shakers. So we're working on our impulse control, waiting our turn, taking turns. 1, 2, 1, 2, back to the drum, go drum. Now let's get soft. Everybody, let's get soft right now. Go soft on the drum, soft on the shaker, soft. So this also goes back to being able to regulate yourself while you're playing. Focus, self-control, following the directions of the group. As everybody works together with group cohesion or togetherness. Soft on the drum, soft, soft, or soft on the shaker, soft, 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 soft. Everybody, let's get soft. Come on now, come on, let's get soft on the drum, shaker, soft, 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 soft. Everybody, let's get soft. Okay, now we are going to go loud, okay? Not fast, but loud. 1, 2, let's get loud, go. Loud on the drum, loud, loud. Everybody, let's get loud, loud. Loud on the drum, loud, loud. Come on now, come on, let's get loud. Loud on the drum, loud, loud. Loud, 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 loud. One, 2, back to soft, go, soft. Soft on the drum, on the shaker, everybody let's get soft. Soft on the drum, on the shaker, let's get soft. 1, 2, now back to loud, go. Loud, loud, let's get loud. Everybody let's get loud right now. Loud, loud, let's get loud. Everybody let's get loud right now. On the drum and the shaker, let's get loud, 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 loud. On the drum and the shaker, let's get loud, loud. 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Now let's get slow. Everybody, let's get slow right now. So more self-regulation going on by playing slow, which can be calming. Relaxing, slow. Now, let's all get a little bit faster, faster, which can be more awakening, more alerting, fast. Everybody let's get fast, 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 as you can go now. 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. 2, 3, 4. Everybody go back to slow. Great way to work on being able to focus your attention back calming and slow rhythm. Awesome. And everybody, let's go faster. Faster on the drum and the shaker. Let's go faster. Everybody play faster, 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 faster. Everybody, let's get fast. 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and back to the groove. can also use a drum to teach counting skills as well. Okay, so now when I say go, give me one beat. Everybody give me one beat. 1, 2, ready, go, 1. Okay, 1, 2, ready, go, 1. Okay, now give me 2 beats. 1, 2. Give me 2 beats. 1, 2. Give me 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. Give me 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Now give me 4 beats. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So that's another way you can put the drum into the educational aspect of it would be you can teach numbers. I've also used the drum to teach the drums and shakers to teach like the sides of a shape. Like for instance, how many how many sides does a triangle have? You can have a triangle has 3 sides, so you can play the sides, 1, 2, 3. How many sides does a square have? Square has 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then of course, how many sides does a circle have? And then none. And so what I've done is instead of playing, of course, I just go around the head or the top of the drum, to reinforce what a circle feels like and what a circle looks like. Okay, awesome. So as you can see, the kids are having fun. They're having a good time. Well, hopefully they're having fun and a good time while you're teaching them these functional skills. The other thing I like is kind of like a Simon Says game, a call and response game where you play something, they play it back to you. Like for instance, I'm going to play a pattern, and then when I put my hand out like that, then you play that pattern back to me. Okay, so and then you could even make it a little bit more of a challenge by incorporating the volume aspect of it too, where you could go something like, so that's something else that would go back to them being able to demonstrate a certain amount of self-control, paying attention, being able to focus. So just some feedback that I have received from parents, and also from just what I've seen at school, what has been reported to me during these years that I've drummed, is I remember one time when I went into a classroom, and I went and when I go into the room, whether the child is a student or mine or not, I still get them involved. I mean, like the whole class or the whole group will get involved in the drumming. So there was this young man with autism, in which I have seen before, but he wasn't on my caseload, so I never really had anything really to do with him, except to say hi and bye every now and then. So what we did is that, so we played the drum, we did the shaker, we did the drums, we had good time and rhythm, and so forth. And at the end of the class, when I was packing up all my supplies, he came to me and he initiated a hug, on his own, and at first I didn't really think much of it, but the teacher there was in shock. And she brought that to my attention, and she was like, "George, do you know what just happened?" And I was like, no, I didn't really know what she meant. And she said that this young man, he was standoffish. He was resistant to men. So I was shocked and pleased because it's through the drumming, through the session, he was able, by playing with me, by seeing me, he was able to get comfortable with the presence that I had in the room. That at the end he came and he gave me a hug on his own, and that is huge. I mean, I was like, this was years ago, and that's an awesome success story. Just knowing how the wall the was fell down there, in the sense that there was a wall between him and, I like, as how it was told to me, most men, but that wall was not there anymore, and he came and he gave me a hug. So I thought that was cool. That was neat. I had this class, a 6-week class, with this other. He was an older. I think he was in his upper teens. Young man would come with his brother to my drum class for around 6 weeks was a class. And what I try to do is, at the end of the class, I try to get feedback. How did the class, how did it affect your loved ones? How did it help them? What they thought. And so the brother, he is the one that would bring him every week to class. And so the brother said that because of the group drumming experience, the sessions, that he felt like his brother was less socially awkward, and those were the words that he had used: less socially awkward. And again, I mean, that was great to hear that. I mean, because you could see how the social skills had improved during the 6 weeks. Let me see. Another one is one parent had reported to me that her daughter had learned how to count and the names of the presidents with the drum. So again, that can go back to reinforcing the educational concept there. Counting, as well as being able, like how she said, they took the class with me for 6 weeks, and then they either bought their own drum or they used something at home, and they reinforced the president's name, as well as being able to count. Let me see. I did have a young man, another young man, and in the beginning of the sessions, he would come to it with earplugs, and also or it was either earplugs or noise reducing headphones, because of course the noise level is also an aspect of it. That it can be, if it's too loud, of course we want the clients to have a good time. We don't want them to spend the whole time like this. But so he started the class with the earplugs or the headphones, and by the end of the 6 weeks, he had taken them out because his nervous system got used to got used to the noise level, so he was not as sensitive to that volume as much. So that's something else. Of course, I would say one of the things to do to address that would be to maybe start out at a lower, the volume is lower. Okay, and then as time goes on, then you can bring the volume up, so that the nervous system will have time to, or the goal is that it will have time to get used to the sound. And it might not happen the first time. It might take several times. The last one I would like to share with you is that a mother, I had done a class in a home, and the mother had reported that the sessions had brought out her son's social interaction, sense of humor, and most importantly, the ability to sit and attend to the lesson. So that was awesome right there. Seeing parents and loved ones, and just sharing how the changes that they're seeing with the group drumming, and at home, or whether it be out in public. So one of the things that before I forget, there is I do have a video of me playing that's similar to what we just did. It's on YouTube. If you go to my YouTube channel, which is TamboRhythms, TamboRhythms, that is the channel. And there is a video there that you can actually play along to. You can play along to it for social emotional skill development. And it's free, so you just have to put it on and just play along to it. You can find my website is TamboRhythms.com. You can also find me on social media. If you put in the hashtag OT drummer, you should be able to find me as well. If this is something that you would like to use, maybe at home, in your clinic, at school, please go ahead and contact me, and I can try to assist you with that. And so I'd like to thank again. I would like to thank you for your time. In order to share this with you, I hope that you found it fun, informative. And again, reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. So again, thank you, and have a good rest of your day and good weekend.